Hello students, today we will be discussing the exercise related to this chapter 8, that is cell structural and functional unit. Okay, now we will be discussing exercise related to this chapter, and in this chapter we have discussed about cell, who has discovered the cell, what is cell theory, and what is the shape, number and size of a cell, and we have discussed the structure of the cell. Along with, we have discussed what are prokaryotes and what are eukaryotes, and then we have discussed about some organization in the living world, that is we have discussed about the plant tissues and some animal tissues, and after that we have discussed about the process of cell division. Now we will be doing the exercise related to this chapter. Okay, now the first question, that is A, first. It is the read the following questions carefully and take the right options. So, सही आंसर क्वेश्चन पढ़िए. आफ्टर दैट जो आपको सही ऑप्शन लगे उसके आगे आपको एक टिक मार्क करना है. So the first question is, the body of a living being is made up of A. Plastic, B. Rubber, C. Cell, D. None of these. So the correct answer is C. Cells. Okay. Second question is, cell was discovered by A. M. Schleiden, B. T. Swan, C. R. Hooke, or D. None of these. So the correct answer is C. Hooke, that is Robert Hooke. That is R. Hooke. Third, new cells develop from A. Nowhere, B. Somewhere, C. Old cells, D. None of these. So the correct answer is C. Old cells. Fourth, which structure is not present in the animal cells? The options are A. Plastids, B. Chromosome, D. C. Nucleus, and D. Cell membrane. So the correct answer is chromosomes, which are present. The correct answer is plastids. So the correct option is A. Plastids. Plastids are only present in plant cells, not in animal cells. So the fifth question is, vacuoles in plant cells help to A. Produce energy from the cell, B. Remove water, C. Protect the cell, and D. Store food. बच्चे water remove ज़रूर करते हैं vacuoles, but in sea beings, okay, in this they have this contractive vacuoles which are present in the underground. The animals which live in the sea. Okay, so here the option D is right. Okay, store food. Store food. Sixth, which structures help to store the food? And the options are A. Chloroplast, B. Chromoplast, C. Leucoplast, and D. Phylum. Now, we know chloroplast provide the green pigment and helps in the production of food. Chromoplast only gives colors to your food that is prepared, stored food. Now, we comes across leucoplast and phylum. Now, but phylum transport the stored food, and this leucoplast store the food. So the correct answer is C. Leucoplast. Next, 7. Cytoplasm is found in, and the options are A. Bacterial cells only, B. Eukaryotic cells only, C. Some plant cells, and D. All eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. So the correct answer is D. All eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. All eukaryotic and prokaryotic cells. Okay. So these are the options that were given, or these are the questions that were given in the question A. So please note down this answer for yourself. Now we'll be doing the B, that is fill in the blanks with appropriate words. So आपको statement complete करना है with appropriate word that you think is go accordingly with this questions. Okay. So B first. A multicellular organism is made up of dash cells. Many. Okay. A unicellular cell organism is made up of only single cell. Now, second question. Dash is the smallest cell in our body, while dash cell is the longest one. Now, the smallest cell in our body is sperm cell, okay? And the longest cell is nerve cell, or you can say neuron, okay? Next, third question. Dash is the controlling center of all the activities of the cell. So, the correct answer is nucleus. Nucleus is the controlling unit of the cell. Fourth, dash is the dense part of the nucleus. It is nucleus, or you can also say chromosomes. Chromosomes are the dense part of the nucleus. Okay. Fifth, tiny structures inside cytoplasm in a cell is called, but tiny structures जो आपके cytoplasms में होते हैं, either if they are specifically minute tiny structures which are round in shape, then the answer will be ribosomes, but they have only said tiny structures, so the answer will be fifth, cell organelles. Okay. Cell organelles. Sixth, dash cells can change their shape to engulf the germs. Germs से कौन fight करते हैं? White blood cells. So the answer is WBCs, or white blood cells, or WBC. Seventh, content of a living cell within the plasma membrane is cell organelles. Okay. So this is about the B question, that is fill in the blanks with appropriate word. Now we'll be doing the right, true and false for the following statement. बच्चों जो स्टेटमेंट आपको सही लगती है प्लीज राइट डाउन द ट्रू अगेंस्ट इट, एंड जो आपको गलत लगती है उसके अगेंस्ट आपको फॉल्स लिखना है. ओके, सो दिस विल बी द क्वेश्चन दैट वी आर गोइंग टू डू नाउ. सो सी फर्स्ट, cell was discovered by Robert Brown. It was discovered by Robert Hooke. So it is false. Second, cells similar in structure and function form an organ. It is true. जिन cells का function and structure same होगा, they will be forming an organ to perform a particular task or particular function. Third, an animal cell has a fixed shape because it has a cell wall. Animal cell has a fixed shape, but not because of cell wall, but because of a cell membrane. So this is false, because cell membrane is present only in plant cells. Fourth, the smallest cell in the human body is a nerve cell. It is the longest cell. So it is also false. Fifth, the cell membrane is semi-permeable. बच्चा आपकी जो cell membrane होती है, it allows to transfer or transmit water and other necessary substance. So yes, it is semi-permeable. So it is true. Okay. Sixth, cytoplasm is a jelly-like substance present in the cell. So yes, this is your cell. This jelly-like substance inside is called cytoplasm. So it is also true. Seventh, the nucleus is filled with a semi-solid substance called cytoplasm. It is false. It is filled with a substance called nucleoplasma. Okay, nucleoplasm. So it is false. So these are the answers for the true and false question, that is C question of your book. Please note down, students. Now we will be doing the match the column A with column B. Okay. So this is the question that we are going to do further. This D. Column A with column B. Okay, so let's start with the first option for the match the column, cell. Second is centrosomes. Third is DNA. Fourth is RNA. Fifth is mitochondria. Sixth is lysosomes. Okay, so the column B is responsible for production, reproduction. Okay. Second is lowest level of organism. Second is lowest level of organism. Third is nucleolus. Fourth is contains gene. Fifth is cellular digestion. And sixth is powerhouse of cell. Okay, so let's match the column A with column B. Now cell is the lowest level of organism, and centrosomes are responsible for reproduction in animal cells. So this is our option. Now we will come with DNA. DNA contains gene, and this nucleolus or this RNA is present in nucleolus. Okay. Now mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, and this lysosomes helps in the cellular digestion. Okay, so this is match the column A with column B. Now we'll be doing the equation, that is differentiate between the following. Okay, so let's do this differentiation of various things that are given in your books. Okay, now the first question is cell wall and cell membrane. So you have to differentiate what is cell wall and what is cell membrane. Now the first question that we are going to discuss is the differentiation between cell wall and cell membrane. So what is cell wall? You have to write that cell walls is a outer layer that is present in only plant cells, and what is cell membrane? It is an outer layer that is present in animal cells. Now this plant cells and animal cells both have cell membrane, but this plant cells do not, or this animal cells do not have this cell wall. So you have to write the difference between this cell wall and cell membrane. Second question is the difference between leucoplast and chloroplast. Now in the chloroplast you have to discuss about this green color pigment and how this is used in the process of photosynthesis, and how this green color pigment provides the green color to the plants. And leucoplast, you have to tell where this leucoplast is seen. It is seen at the roots and the underground roots and this modified stems, and also that they store food. That is the function of leucoplast. So this you will be differentiating between the two. The third question is vacuole in the plant cells and in animal cells. Now, bacha, vacuole in a plant cells, you know, it helps to store food, and the absorption of water is also done, and the removal of waste is also carried out by these vacuoles. And in animal cells, these vacuoles are mostly generally they are used for, you know, excess of water removing in sea animals, and some vacuoles in animals which they have, if they have, may be used for the removal of waste. Okay, so these are the vacuoles that are present in plant cells and animal cells. You have to differentiate. Now the fourth question is a difference between tissue and an organ. So how you will be differentiating between a tissue and an organ? Which a group of cells together form tissues, and a group of tissues together form an organ. So you can write that like epithelial tissue is a tissue, and this group of epithelial tissue forms your skin, and it's an organ. So that's how you can write about this or differentiate between this tissue and organ. Now the F question is answer the following question, that is F. Now this F question, the first question is what is a cell? Explain. So yeah, here you will be writing the basic definition of cell, that is cell is this basic structural and functional unit of life. It is the lowest form of life on Earth's surface or of an organism. Then you will be writing the structure of cell and about the multicellular and unicellular organism. Along with you will be discussing the numbers of cells and the shape and size of the cell according to their functions. So the second question is how does a plant cell differ from an animal cell? Now you will be writing the difference between the plant cells and the animal cells, and this difference is given in your books. A table is given in your books, so you can just read out the table and you can do this difference between plant cells and animal cells. The third question is how does a nucleus differ from a cell? That is how a nucleus differ from a cell. So you have to write the structure of nucleus and how this nucleus do a work, a particular genetic work that is not done by other cell organelles, and about the different parts, that is 4 parts of this nucleus. Okay, and the fourth question is what is the importance of a plant cell having a cell wall? Why do the plant cells have this cell wall? Because plant cells needs very much protection from their environment, because they cannot move from one place to another place very easily. So this plant cells have a very necessary condition so that an extra layer or extra membrane, that is a cell wall, is given so the cells can be protected from the harsh environment. So this is the importance of a plant cell having a cell wall. Fifth question, why are chloroplasts found only in plant cells? Because plant cells, it's not necessary chloroplast will only be in plant cells. Some like blue-green algae also has, green algae also has chloroplast. But the chloroplast will be present in only those plants or only those living beings which can make their own food. That is, they are able to do the process of photosynthesis. So the fifth question is write a short note on the cytoplasm. So how will we be writing a short note? You will be writing what is cytoplasm and how the cytoplasm contains the cell organelles and nucleus, and you will be discussing all these cell organelles and nucleus in a brief detail. Now the seventh question is name 3 cell organelles. You can write any 3 cell organelles like mitochondria, lysosomes, centrosomes, or you can write plastids, vacuoles, you can write endoplasmic reticulum, you can write any 3 cell organelles. So this is the answer, F question, that is answer the following questions. So please do this question in your books. Okay, now we'll be discussing another types of activity questions that are given in your books. Okay, The first question is, or first type of question is HOTS. That is high order thinking skill questions. It has 3 questions in it. So the first question is, which property of the WBC allows to squeeze through the walls of blood vessels and get into intracellular spaces to fight against germs? So which property? The property of WBC is to change its shapes. That is utilized by this WBCs to fight against germs. The second question is, why do plants need a cell wall? So I have to tell you how this plant needs a cell wall. So you just have to write down that this protect the plant from the external harsh environmental effects. Third question is, why in blood transfusion blood is drawn from a vein rather than an artery? Okay, you have to write that why the blood is drawn from the vein, not from an artery. Okay, but you may be not knowing this, but this your veins or your arteries, what they are veins and what are arteries? Which arteries mostly carries your oxygenated blood in your body, and they are very deeply rooted inside your body. And veins, which are located on the outer area of your body, carry deoxygenated blood or carbonated blood. Okay, they carry deoxygenated blood. So these veins are mostly available on the superior or the surface of your body or the outer surface of your body. So it is very much easy to access them, and okay, so that's why this blood is drawn from a veins rather than an artery. Now we'll be doing the project work. Okay, this project work, you have been given with 2 projects. Make a chart showing different types of plants and animal cells and neatly make different organelles on it. Please try to draw this cell, plant cell and animal cell along with all the cell organelles and label them with correctly. Okay. Now the second project is make a model of the plant cells or animal cells using thermocol. Take a thermocol, make some different types of this cell organelles from this thermocol and assemble it together to make a model. Okay, this is the 2 project works that are given in your books. Next is activity. There are 2 activities also given. First, observe a single cell with a naked eye. You can see an egg, or you can see this thread or this this thread-like structure of lemons and oranges. These are also single cell. Okay, now the second question is, take an egg of a hen and boil it. Now peel it off and remove the outer egg shell. Now cut it cross-sectionally to observe the albumin and the yolk. Surprisingly, what you are observing are the parts of a single cell. You know, bacha, this egg, this is, 1 minute, this is egg. When you cut this egg cross-sectionally, you will be getting this type of structure, and here will be, so this is your albumin and this is your yolk. You know, bacha, this is yolk is your nucleus and this albumin is the cytoplasm, and which contain all the cell organelles. So this is the structure of an egg, or you can see how a single cell is looked by a naked eye. Okay. Now the last is a discovery regarding this Ernest Ruska and Max Knorr. You know, this Max Knorr and Ernest Ruska invented the electron microscope, and because of this electron microscope, we will to study the structure of cell in detail. You know, this electron microscope can magnify an object up to 1 lakh times. But like if an object is 1 meter, then you can see it approximately 1 lakh meter time big. So this electron microscope was invented by Ernest Ruska and Max Knorr. Okay, and because of this, the structure of cells can be studied in detail. So we should give a thanks to these 2 scientists. So that is all for the chapter.